Happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, it's your boy, it's your man, Simon Miller. And I have gone into my news hat. I need a hat. And I'm here to pull out some news. That's not a hat, that's a glove. Let's not worry about that. But yes, we wanted to make sure you got all your wrestling updates, no matter what the day. So just, I'm just filling in, just letting you know the score, and I'll do the catchphrase to know people like that. This is the news. We start with a very interesting and somewhat peculiar story, because if you were excited about the PAC versus Hangman Page match that was going to go down at Double or Nothing in less than a week's time, well, you need to take that excitement, you need to rip it up into a million pieces and chuck it in the bin, because it's no longer happening anymore, at least not on that AEW show. So basically what we've seen with our eyes so far goes like this. PAC was meant to wrestle in Nottingham over the weekend here in the UK for WrestleGate. Then they came up with some crazy reason why his original opponents couldn't be there, and instead he had a surprise person come out to the ring to have a match instead, and that was indeed Hangman Page. From all accounts, they had one hell of a badass fight, and AEW is going to release that via their streaming services on Tuesday. Now, if you're thinking that doesn't make any sense, well, it's because of this. While a bunch of people are trying to figure it out, it certainly does sound like PAC had told AEW he was not going to be able to lose at Double or Nothing because he is the Dragon Gate champion, and therefore, whatever the plan was meant to be, it had to be cancelled. And AEW, as we know, they want a product that fans like and fans enjoy and fans get behind, and where wins or losses matter. So you don't want to do a draw, I suppose, or a DQ or a smosh finish. And I guess they wanted Hangman Page to win. I don't know, I'm just speculating. And therefore, they just cancelled the whole thing. And I will say, after doing some reading this morning, I don't think it pertains to this one specific match, but more about the long-term booking for the promotion going forward and what they'd be able to do with PAC and, of course, Hangman Page, depending on what happened here. It sounds very convoluted and complicated, but I imagine more details will come out soon. Understandably, a lot of fans are pissed off about this, and you are allowed to be, especially if you were looking forward to it, but I thought Dave Meltzer made a very good point. Everyone was saying, doom and gloom, this is just like WCW, but really, it's not. If it was like World Championship Wrestling, or to that fact, WWE, they would have done the small, stupid, non-DQ finish, or whatever you want to call it, and that would have pissed everybody off. The fact that AEW decided to go to such lengths in order not to have some, crazy outcry after all was said and done. I'm not saying it's good. It's not good, because this match has been promoted since like January, but hopefully it goes to show they're looking at things a little bit differently. Now, the end of that match with Hangman Page and PAC in WrestleGate was actually a DQ after PAC used a chair and he destroyed Adam Page's leg, and afterwards said, hey, I ain't going to Double or Nothing, and neither am I going to AEW. So for the time being, he's no longer part of that promotion. Now, again, for the comments, can you think of anybody who announced they would be wrestling for a company, but then had absolutely zero matches for them? Good luck with it. Don't worry though, AEW said they've got an even better match now for Hangman Page. Fingers crossed it's Dean Ambrose / John Moxley, although then surely you'd have the same problem, because you don't want either of those people to lose either. Who knew that wins and losses could be so difficult? In other news, WWE was meant to have a SmackDown house show on Monday night in the good old US of A, but as I'm sure you've already figured out, they've announced it's been cancelled, and that is because, of course, the Raw plan must have been put in place, and a bunch of SmackDown superstars need to be on that show, and therefore we just kill the SmackDown house show business, because why the hell not? Don't worry, I looked up that as well. Apparently it hadn't sold very well anyway. But this does shine a big spotlight on what is becoming an issue when it comes to the wild card rule, because how often is this going to happen? Wouldn't it make more sense just to cancel all Monday night house shows as it pertains to the SmackDown superstars if you're just going to throw them all onto Monday nights instead, or at least on the Raw show on Monday nights? Also, I figured it out, and you figured it out. This just means Roman Reigns is going to be on both shows, and I love Roman Reigns. He's an inspiration and he's a motivation, but you're just going to annoy all the people that wanted to boo him from before, because as Daniel Bryan has said, wrestling fans are fickle. I think we can safely say, though, that this wildcard rule is just a bad idea all round, and the sooner we sort all of this out, the better it's going to be for everybody. Also, it's not much of a wild card rule if it's the same wrestlers each and every week now. Is it WWE? You may as well call it the Roman Reigns, Miz, Usos, AJ Styles rule. Just call it that. WWE also announced a couple of matches for the Superstar Showdown pay-per-view, basically the one that's going on in Saudi Arabia, in a couple of weeks. And not only are we going to get Andrade versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship, but we're also getting Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley in a big dudes beat each other up contest. Don't know whether that's good, don't know whether it's bad, because most of these Saudi Arabia shows don't even exist when you look into the ether of what WWE is throughout a calendar year. Unless, of course, you're Shane McMahon and you become the best in the world. But don't worry, Braun, Bobby, Finn and Andrade will of course be in that Royal Rumble / Battle Royal too, because WWE needs 50 people. So you gotta guess that unless you're like Brock Lesnar, if you're in a singles match at this event, you're also going to be in that Battle Royal. It is an interesting card though, isn't it? We've got these two matches, and we've got Randy Orton versus Triple H, which is just nuts. And are we going to build that up on TV, or is it just going to pop out of nowhere? And we've got The Undertaker versus Goldberg. I don't really understand what kind of world we're living in when it comes to WWE now. It's just like they pull matches out of their ass, or like my hat that I threw away earlier. Don't forget, a glove came out of there, a glove. And we'll end by focusing on Impact Wrestling, because they've got a couple of talent changes. One, Scarlet Bordeaux has apparently requested her release from the company, and that's doubly interesting because it seems she was only on a pay-as-you-play deal, and that deal was going to come up in the summer. So I don't know what she's got going on, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. And also, everybody thought Jordynne Grace had signed with Impact Wrestling, but now Impact and Jordynne are saying that's not true. There is a deal on the table, but as of me saying these words, it ain't been signed. And if you don't sign it, it's just a piece of paper. Now, if I was in charge of Impact Wrestling, and I'm not, I would try and double down on both of these women because they're really talented, and it's of course a division you need to focus on. Also, if you haven't been watching Impact, I kind of dipped my toe in the other day. It's a very well produced and very good show. So the last thing you want is for your superstars to be leaving, especially because recently Killer Cross also said he wanted out of the deal. What even is a deal anymore? It means nothing. I'll throw this in there too, don't know whether it's been covered, but I just want to let you know that on Instagram, Chris Jericho revealed he's got a brand new finishing move. It's called the Judas effect, and it's a back elbow. Now before you go, oh, it sounds rubbish, what a pathetic move, it's all about how you get something over. The Rock used to beat people with an elbow that he just dropped up onto the floor. You know, if you believe in a move, look at Okada's Rainmaker, right? It's just a short arm clothesline. It all depends on how you build around it. So we'll see what the Chris Jericho does in 2019 with his new Judas effect. Obviously named after a Fozzy song too. That's the real problem. Actually, I lied. There's a few other topics I just want to touch upon, but I wouldn't really call them news, but they're still news-esque. If you're watching this the day it goes live, it's May 19th. And as you know, that's a very special day for Kane. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, just give it a little bit of a Google. Poor man. He went through some hard times back in the day. But we love Kane, we love Glenn Jacobs, especially because recently he was doing his whole mayor of Knox County or Knoxville or wherever the hell he's the mayor of, and he put his Kane mask on and gave someone a choke slam. That was weird. And on a more serious note, over this weekend it was 17 years since the British Bulldog passed away, and while I'm sure that means something to most wrestling fans, me as a UK citizen, we've talked about this before in other videos that I've done, when somebody from your own shores or your hometown or whatever makes it big, especially at a time when WWE/WWF was booming, it always feels a bit more special. I know pretty much every single wrestler that comes out of the United Kingdom looks to the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, in some sense. I thought it was very nice to shout it out, send out good thoughts to his family and friends. I'm sure it's still difficult to deal with, even 17 years later. Absolutely a legend of the wrestling business. WWE, I think by now we should put him in the Hall of Fame. Oh, I should have mentioned this with Impact News. If you were watching on the Pursuit channel recently and noticed that their main event just cut off and never came back on, they're going to put it on their Twitch channel. That's actually a thing that happened. It was Rich Swann versus Michael Elgin in a contest that a lot of people tell me was awesome. And yeah, literally, if you were watching on Pursuit, you went to an advert and you just never got the conclusion. Wrestling, we're just in a crazy situation in 2019. Who would have predicted that? Imagine you're watching Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was sent everybody crazy recently. But imagine you were watching the Queen of Dragons or the Dragon Queen or whatever you want to call her, Targaryen. And she did something, and then you went to commercial, and you never found out what she did because a brand new program started to play. You'd never hear the end of it on Twitter. Everybody would lose their mind. But don't worry, you're going to get it on Twitch. Everyone can use Twitch. They're going to put it online, so it's going to be free to everyone. That sounds good. That's a good way to handle that situation. Did happen with WCW back in the day. What was it, Goldberg and DDP? That match just vanished off pay-per-view. That could be even worse. You paid $60 to see something. You ain't allowed to see it. And that's it, that's the news. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of it. Like, share and subscribe. Head over to whatculture.com and read more news. There's loads of it. And you can get even more news on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. And there's more news here on What Culture Wrestling, the YouTube channel. It's like News Central. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great Sunday. Have a great Monday. Enjoy Money in the Bank 2019, which goes down in a few hours. If you are watching this on the day it goes live, and remember to tune in tomorrow when we up those downs for that pay-per-view. I know it doesn't look overly exciting on paper, but you really get into the nitty-gritty. I think it should be a decent card, and also ladder in the bank money matches. What was that? Money in the bank ladder matches. I think my brain just stopped working. Usually within the realms of WWE are pretty good. And Ricochet's in the men's one. Remember what he did when NXT had their ladder match for the United States Champion or North American Championship, whatever they call it. I'm excited, I'm ready, but the only way you can find out whether it was a decent show is, like I say, coming back soon for those up-ins and those downers. I'm just going to stop now. I think I've gone crazy. Sunday's a weird random day for us all. Have nice lives. Why not do it all?